All right. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are back. We're back. We've got the early word and excited to be jumping back in today. And we're going to dig in to the book of Hebrews. Now, I got a lot of different streams going today, so I'm trying to figure out this new program. So hopefully that I can keep up. But if you are watching right now live through Facebook, um, I can go ahead and post different comments. See, like, right, watch this. It says, good morning and welcome back. That says from Facebook user. If you want your name to be seen as not just Facebook user, but somebody else, you can go ahead. I think there's a place in Facebook to give permission to StreamYard to have your thing. There's Tom Merrick there. He gave permission. So good morning, all. So I can put the different titles and stuff like that. So that's great. So on Instagram, good morning to Sam and Cynthia. Glad everybody's here. Hey, Lucy and Shelly. It's like the gang is back. Got the gang back. Hey, Patty. Excited to have everybody here. Good morning, Joe. How are you doing today? So as I continue to go through the actual study portion, I might not be able to remember to click all these things to put up your comments and things like that. And I'll try to read through them more. Hey, Karen, good morning. But glad you are on. Good morning, Adrian and Carol. Glad to have you on as well. So yeah, this is on Facebook, our Rise City group. This is on the page. This is on my page. This is on Instagram. This is on YouTube now. So kind of everywhere. So it's going to be fun to see where everybody dials in from. But we are going to, at this time, jump into the book of Hebrews. How many are excited about the book of Hebrews? Hebrews is probably one of my favorite books in the Bible, and I love I love being able to see the Old Testament connected to the New Testament. That's one of the things I love about the book of Hebrews, because it gives a lot of context for the first 2/3 of the Bible, and then gives a lot of fulfillment of what Jesus brought to the Old Testament and how he fulfilled it. So it's got a little bit of old, got a lot of new, and excited to jump into it. Little context. So Hebrews is likely written sometime before 70 AD, 65 to 68 AD. The reason that's important to know that is because in 70 AD, there was a significant moment in Jewish history, and that's when the temple was destroyed. And when the temple was destroyed, that really caused the Jewish faith to scatter everywhere. When you read Hebrews, there's nothing indicating that the temple has been destroyed in these writings. It would seem that they're still arguing whether or not they should still be worshiping in this temple. So sometime pre-70 AD, no one knows exactly who wrote Hebrews. Some people think it's Paul. A lot of people think it's the Apostle Paul. Some people think it's Barnabas. Others have thrown other names out there. Not exactly sure who the author is. But the context, the kind of overarching context of Hebrews is you have Jewish people who have placed their faith in Jesus. All right. So they believe that Jesus is the Messiah. They believe he's the promised Son of God. They have said yes to Jesus. But now it's been 30 plus years since Jesus was actually physically on the scene. He has already died, rose from the dead, ascended to heaven. And there's much debate that has ensued. Exactly what does it mean now if you're a Christian? What Jewish things should you continue, and which ones did Jesus complete and they're done? And there's also a lot of doubt that begins to creep into the minds of some of those who made kind of that conversion, if you will, and said yes to Jesus. They're wondering because Jesus hasn't come back. It's been 30 years, and most of the people, when Jesus said, I'm coming back, thought it was going to be like, yeah, he's going to come back like next week, or he's going to come back in a year or two. But 30 years, they're starting to have these concerns and wonder, like, hey, is this what we thought it was? And so the author of Hebrews really speaks to any of you, any of us, right? If you're out there, hey, CC, good to have you on. But yeah, if you're out there and you see that you have doubts and wonder, like, where's Jesus, and is this really the way I should be following? And is he really all he says he is? And how do we know? And how do I make sense of the Bible and the Old Testament and the New Testament? The author of Hebrews is really trying to write to Christians who are having some doubts and are trying to figure out just exactly what it looks like to follow Christ when other people are saying, I don't know if you should be doing that anymore. I don't know if you should be doing that anymore. And so I think that's why I'm excited to be able to talk through the book. So I got Hebrews chapter 1, verses 1 through 3 is where we're going to start. And as if you've joined with me before, I'm just going to take a few verses. And this book's like lots of chapters. This is one of the longer ones I've done. So we're going to be in Hebrews for a long time. All right. So I hope you're ready to buckle up. But we're going to do chapter 1 today, verses 1 through 3. And I'm going to do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, except this Thursday. This Thursday, I will not be able to be on because I will be on an airplane with my 2 daughters flying back to Illinois. It's the anniversary of my dad's passing. And so there's always a golf tournament that we have to raise money for a scholarship for a student in his honor and stuff like that. So taking my girls with me to Illinois. So I will not do it this Thursday, but normally Monday to Thursday, 8 a.m. And if you miss it, you can now go YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. It's somewhere you can find it and keep tracking along. All right. So now it's kind of that's the like introduction. Let's jump into the text today, huh? You guys ready for some Hebrews? Anybody ready for some Hebrews? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a yeah. Let's do this. Cool. Oh, I got some waves. All right. Good. Hey, Lancy. Good morning. Hebrews starts this way. It says this. I'm reading from the New Living Translation. It says, long ago, God spoke many times and in many ways to our ancestors through the prophets. So he's writing to Jewish people and he's saying, hey, there's a long history. If you're a Christian now, trust me, like the whole evolution, so to speak, of now Christ being the center, that has been like projected. It's supposed to happen, but that happened. But that's a new development, and there is a long history long ago how God has spoke to talk about the coming of the Messiah. So there's a part of the writer at the very beginning wanting to remind people, you're not stepping into something like brand spanking new that just happened. But there is a history. There is a trajectory that's been going for a long time. There's a weight that comes with having to know that this isn't something that just appeared out of thin air. God had a plan. God was mapping out a way that he was going to want to redeem humanity from the moment they walked away. And so he says, long ago, God spoke many times and in many ways to our ancestors through all the prophets. And now, right now he's talking then like 65, 66, 67, 68 AD. But I would say, but right now, in the 21st century, still right now, in these final days, and this phrase final days, they used it thinking it really was like they thought Jesus was coming back right then. Now it's been 2,000 years. But those final days, they continue. The moment Jesus rose from the dead, kind of the last days started, if you will, that the Bible talks about. And we are closer to the end than we are the beginning. And Jesus may come in our lifetime, he may not. But we need to be prepared for that. And he says, in these final days, God now has spoken to us through his son. The way God has now spoken most audibly, most definitively. There were prophets, there were men that raised up, there were different signs and wonders, but the most definitive way now that God speaks to each and every person on the planet, which includes you and includes me, is through, he says, his son, Jesus. It says God promised everything to the son as an inheritance. And through the Son, he created the universe. And verse 3 says, the Son radiates God's own glory and expresses the very character of God, and he sustains everything by the mighty power of his command. I love this verse because here's the thing. Can you resonate with this with me? I oftentimes, like, I am somebody that really, really, really need some substantiation. I need some dearth, some weight. Give me something that I can actually like sink my teeth into, so I know, right, that that it's real. Like, look behind me, right? Like I can see that tree right there. I can see it, right? The tree is right there. And so if you told me that's a tree, I'd be like, cool. Okay, I can see that. And I can walk over that tree and I can pick off some of the pine needles and I can put it in my fingers. I can smell it. I can feel the stickiness of some of the sap. Like, it's like if you told me, here's a tree, and then you can show me a tree, I'm like, awesome. Hey, that right there, that's a light bulb hanging right there. And it's gonna turn on, or like, see, you see them right there? I'm pointing right there, touching the little light bulb. Right? When I can see something, feel something, taste something, wrap my brain around something, it helps my belief big time. And what the author of Hebrews is wanting to tell us is like, if you've struggled trying to wonder who God is, what he's like, what's he sound like, what's he look like, what's his character, what's his action, like, yes, I have the Bible and I can read like these different stories. And yes, I've heard that prophets have said lots of things, but I wasn't there. And I'm just trying to figure out who is God? What's he like? And the author simply says, Jesus. That's your answer. The answer is Jesus. You want something tangible? You want something that you can sink your teeth into? Jesus radiates God's own glory and expresses his very character. That's what he says. He says, God knew that we are tactile beings that need something that we can actually see, feel, smell, touch. And so he came amongst us, God in the flesh. John 1:14, he made his dwelling amongst us. And that's what he was doing. He was saying, I want to give you a tangible picture, a tangible expression. You want to know who I am, what I'm about, what I look like, how I operate, how I think, how I sound. Jesus, 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 Jesus. It's the same as me saying, that's a tree. He'd say, Jesus. The sun radiates God's glory. Jesus, it says in the book of Colossians, is the image of the invisible God. And I don't know about you, but sometimes the invisible nature of God drives me nuts. Can I get an amen? Right? Like I'm at times singing at church and you're just like, I'm in a room looking at a screen and I know God's here somewhere and everywhere. And sometimes people are like, oh, yeah, look at nature, look at that tree and that's proof of God. I'm like, yeah, I guess, but I love it when I have an image of the invisible God and he's a human and he's flesh and he's blood and he's Jesus. And I can see who he is. I can watch the way he interacts with other people. I can read words that he spoke. That is so inflating to my faith. How about you? And the author of Hebrews is saying, listen, I know you're trying to wonder, is this real? Is it not real? And what? I'm just telling you, you got to come back to Jesus. And that's what Hebrews is going to be about. He's going to continue now to take all of us on a journey of why Jesus is greater than anything from the Old Testament, fulfills all things, and Jesus is fully human, how he can resonate with us in our times of joy and our times of suffering, that he is going to point to the humanity and the divinity of Jesus, but he's going to keep saying, Jesus, 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 Jesus. As obvious as a tree is right there, tactile, tangible. You want to know who God is? You want to taste and see that the Lord is good, as the psalmist says? Look no further than Jesus. The sun radiates God's own glory and expresses the very character of God. He sustains everything. And if he sustains everything, guess what that means? He sustains you. If he sustains everything, the sustenance of your existence actually is the very Son of God. The sustenance of our existence is the very Son of God. And his mighty power is at work in us and through us. So I want to stop there, chew on that one. Just think of Jesus today. Consider the stories you know about. Read Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Just consider the things that you know of Jesus. But if you're wondering as you're driving, yes, the creation declares the glory of God. Yes, we can look at the skies and just look at how everything works. And there's evidence of a master craftsman. But Jesus is the image of the invisible God. He radiates God's glory. And he sustains your life. And he wants you to know him. So I pray that you look to him today. I pray that we would be a people that continue to pursue Jesus in all things. So if you are on Facebook, I want to encourage you as we keep journeying through this. Hey, give Facebook permission to let StreamYard show your name. And if you don't want me to put your name in the thing, that's fine too. Instagram people, you're not seeing kind of the little captions, but YouTubers and Facebookers, I will say Facebook user, but it'd be cool to be able to see who I am talking to. So glad, Lily, that you joined with Shelly, Hannah. Thanks so much on all of you. God bless you. And tomorrow we'll go to verse 4. We're just going to slow and steady go through the book of Hebrews. But today, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. All right. Thanks for joining with me.